Hello everyone. Welcome to Fiaura. That is way too big. There we go. How is everyone doing? We're here to review the Stingray. Or as one of my subscribers has called it, the Skankiest. In this case, the Stingray Mark II. I don't have a lot good to say about this vehicle. For a start, it's only in use by Thailand. It's never actually seen war or any actual military conflict. Developed by the United States, and that's about it. I mean, it's the British Royal L7 gun with some pretty advanced ammunition rigged together for the purposes of creating light armor. It was a competitor to attempt to replace the Sheridan. Guess what? We still used the Sheridan, obviously. So why don't I like it? Well, past the Bagel Panzer right now, light tanks suck. Just flat out. They're, according to the Armored Warfare video, they're supposed to be the bane of AFVs. They're not. The armor is so thin. With the upgraded armor package on the front, the armor is at least thick enough to stop those pesky little anti-high armor 30mm cannons. But the side and turret armor still won't do anything about those 30mm cannons, and therefore penetration is all you're going to hear. That's the bad news. What are we going to compare this to? Well, let's compare it to some very close competitors. So we have the Stingray, the LAV 600, which is another option for light armor firepower style vehicle. The Centauro 120 is another option. And we're going to go ahead and compare it to a main battle tank, because these are supposed to have the firepower of a main battle tank with the speed and maneuverability of an AFV, or with the speed and maneuverability of a tank destroyer, or possibly even keep up with AFVs. So right here, out the gate, I'm seeing a huge problem. When we compare, so we're going to compare firepower. When I compare the firepower of the Stingray 2 to that of the Leopard 2, it's woefully short. Holy shit. Almost 65 millimeters lower penetration, lower damage per shot, slightly higher damage per minute, but you're not going to make that damage per minute because you don't have the penetration power to pull it off. Your front armor is better. Your side armor and rear armor are worse. Your turret armor is laughable. It's a light tank. We don't expect the armor to make that big a difference. And, oh, it turns out the Leopard 2 can keep up with you in terms of speed. You've only got about 5 kilometers an hour on him. You've got a longer view range and a better camouflage, but you don't have the gun depression the Leopard 2 does, oddly enough. And while you have a much better whippier turret, aim time and reload time, Leopard 2 is going to take you out. Centauro 120. Again, we're at less penetration, significantly less alpha, half the DPM. And without the armor upgrade package, we have relatively the same armor. Well, damn. Centauro 120 is going to outspot you as well. Fair warning. And it's faster than you. I don't know about you guys, but right now I'm bringing a Centauro 120, not a Stingray 2. But then we get into the LAV 600, which I actually enjoyed more than the Centauro 120. And again, more firepower, more damage per minute. Lower armor, but it's faster. Better camouflage, better view range. I hate to be mean, but right now, taking a light tank into battle, it's basically playing on impossible mode. Because all it's going to take is an AFV getting a hold of you, and you're dead. It's really all it takes. Even with this extra applique armor on in the PvP footage, we're going to see a weasel penetrating my front plates while I'm chasing him down. Go ahead and tell you that one's going to happen. So, if you are determined to play light tanks, then I'm going to go over how you equip this thing. For a start, free XP this applique armor, because without it, your armor values are razor thin. You will get penetrated by AFVs with machine guns. So, free XP that armor upgrade. It'll help keep you alive. Commander is either Freya or Sabrina Washington, depending upon the situation you wish to employ. If you wish to sit back and snipe, you want to go with Sabrina. If you actually want to be an active flanker, you go with Freya. But active flanking is very, very difficult at this tier. Be aware this might get you shot religiously until you figure it out. Ammunition-wise, you want to carry about 15 heat shells to shoot at AFVs because you need that extra damage in order to kill them. Regular old-fashioned consumables, fair warning, the systems on this thing break left, right, and sideways. You will get critical hit repeatedly every time you get penetrated. Advanced MRS is the only saving grace you have for that low penetration. It's the only way you're going to make up for 375 pen at tier 7. Hate to say that. And the supercharger to get better acceleration and a better hull traverse, because that hull traverse is going to save your life by keeping the front of the tank, where the most armor is, towards your opponent when you are facing particularly AFVs with auto cannons. That is going to save your life. Back up, turn, get distance between the two of you, keep facing the hull towards them, and you should be able to get your gun on them and kill them. The gun's really accurate, by the way. Really nice, accurate gun. Just thought you should know that. So, that is the garage perspective on the Stingray 2. Let's go take a look at some PvP and PvE footage of this, well, thing.
I think would actually help them if they removed autocannons from the general scaling of weapons. So, you know what I mean? Actually treat autocannons differently in the code to, you know, tank cannons, effectively, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean?
So that they can then effectively put a separate modifier in for autocannon rounds against armor. So if they do that, they can then buff things like the light tanks against autocannon rounds without affecting the main battle tanks.
And they could have the main battle tank side armor. I forgot to switch commanders again. They could have the main battle tank side armor be effective against cannons, but have a different modifier, so an auto cannon getting beside it would actually hurt it.
Yeah.
I can
I
see
mean, don't
that.
get me wrong, it'd have been absolute pig to code in, but yeah.
No, it wouldn't. You just create a separate code for autocannons so that you have a separate armor value and a separate you would basically have a on-off switch. Did you get hit with autocannon? Did you get hit with tank cannon? And then it would go from there. And our Fox just basically suicided.
That was quite an impressive suicide to go that quickly. And
you also
I've now
need
got...
to smooth out these hills.
God, yeah.
You're like, I have 11 degrees of gun depression, but the hill requires 28 degrees for me to be effective. Troll. They need to actually do what Wargaming does when Wargaming builds a map. They actually take tanks out and drive them on it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just skimmed that weasel. Get back, Stingray. Get back.
Identified. Hostile tank.
We don't have any MBTs that actually went into the refinery.
Nope.
That's bad.
Yep.
Or is anybody watching it?
Possibly one of our light tanks. Can't tell which one because of where it is
Apparently
on the
not,
screen.
because that Centauro just powered right through.
Yeah, hell.
I got a hit on him. Finish him.
Whoa! I'm getting ripped from the hill.
You needed to finish the Centauro, or that was going to happen.
I was trying to get to him. I was trying to get to him.
Identify. Awesome. You hit it hard.
We're getting bum rush.
Out.
Yep.
Identify. Hostile tank. Nailed them. Identify target. Hostile PC.
I like how he can just auto aim and he's penetrating, and I have to actually manually aim my shot at point blank range.
Yeah. Not only is he penetrating, he's penetrating for 80 for every time he does it.
Threat destroyed.
Good night. However, in the meantime, our team is now just getting annihilated.
Yeah, watch out, you're driving between a Leopard and a T-80.
Target hit. Identify. Target hit. Hostile tank. Identify target. Hostile tank. Control grenade. Out. No panic. Nailed him. Target locked. Nailed them. Identify. Hostile tank. Target locked. You hit it hard. No effect.
No effect. I'm dead.
Nope. Nope, just enough turret armor to make sure a light tank can't do anything from the front.
Yep. And it should be able, and this thing is supposed to have this is the exact statement from Obsidian. The firepower of an MBT, and without the armor and increased mobility. It does not have the firepower of an MBT.
Nowhere near. Might have the damage scores on a good roll, but yeah, just...
My damage score sucks on any roll.
Oh, God. So
The damage is subpar, the penetration is subpar. It's only better against lower tier tanks. Equal and higher tier tanks is terrible. Same thing for the Stingray 1. It's only good against tanks that are lower tier.
What is yours running? The L7?
It's supposed to be it's a variant of the L7, and it has less penetration than an MBT-70 or a T-72A, and has less damage than any tank of this tier.
I'm 529 on the maximum Sabo.
Alright guys, so you may notice a significant difference in the quality of the PvP footage and the PvE footage this time. That is because I have switched recording software at the time of recording this, but the PvP footage was already pre-recorded before that. And therefore, from now on, we're going to have a much better quality video. In addition to the fact new computer parts will be arriving soon. But here we are on Ghost Hunter. Probably one of the worst case scenarios for this vehicle. And, well, where's the weak points on this vehicle? This driver's section doesn't actually have the applique armor over it, and the turret is just a giant weak spot. So if you're having to fight this thing from the front, just aim at the gun. Just aim at the general vicinity of the gun, and you'll penetrate all day long. It's sad, but true. As we pull up here and get ready to engage the enemy forces.
Black Company, stand by for additional orders.
I am spotted. That's not good. I don't wish to be spotted. Now, again, my subscribers have referred to this as the Skank-Ray, or the Steve Irwin killer. You imagine the affection at which we refer to this vehicle with that. Now, I would say not bad, but that's a pretty freaking sucky roll for a tier 7. This is an American vehicle, by the way, with actually pretty bad gun depression. 7 degrees is about on par with the T90. You do get your 3 charges of smoke grenades, unlike with the Thunderbolt right now. As soon as they release a new patch, though, the Thunderbolt will have its smoke, which will be really nice. Ow, that went into my side. Now the tank does have a loader and a full crew, which means that you train the crew as you go. Ow. Just got shot in the ass by the one light tank that actually functions like a good light tank, the VFM. I'd say that applique armor saves you. But again, my turret is razor thin, so in PvP matches, they're just going to shoot at my turret and go right in. If the applique armor went on the turret, hey Obsidian, talking to you. Applique armor on the turret of this thing, it might be okay. Might be. Or if the applique armor also went on the sides, that would be really nice. It is all Cadloy steel, by the way. It is all that amazing 1.6 modifier. So that base 300 millimeters actually becomes, as I showed you in the garage, 500! But here we are, skanking about. And the Skanky Ray. Shooting on the move. Don't aim, don't give no fucks. That is the really nice part about this tank. Don't aim, don't give no fucks. You just pull the trigger. You notice even on the move, the aim circle is really tiny. Even when I'm going full speed, it's only when I'm traversing the hull that the aim circle actually blooms a significant amount. But you also have to remember you do have a longer aim time, which doesn't make any sense to me. The light tank should have a quicker aim time in addition to having better on-the-shot accuracy. But that's Obsidian's methodology of balance. Hey Abrams, hey, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. There's your butt plug. I'm talking to you. Would you like a... Oh, you don't want the butt plug in the back of your head? Okay. I will accommodate, sir. Oh, snap! I'm not here anymore! I am ninja to the fuck away! Oh, snap. That is a whole hell of a lot of Terminator. Ow, I think I just got shot by the Thunderbolt, yep. As I said, since it only has the frontal armor as the applique zone, you're going to constantly find that even though you think you're facing the enemy, you're going to get penetrated. Which sucks! I think that's why they started calling it the Skank Ray. And even with all that Cadloy steel applique armor, HEI rounds still hurt me. Unless you two want to come off the hill and give me some damn fire support, I'm gonna die. Oh shit. He's not shooting at me just yet. Did you just shoot at me? You saw a dick. Woo! Applique armor saved my life. Thank you. As you can see, the holes in the side. They're penetrating me on the side because the side armor is still only 60 millimeters. You basically can only face straight ahead. There is no side armor at all. I hear people complain about the Leopard 2 side armor. You haven't experienced the awesome side armor of the Stingray 2. Do you imagine side armor so thin that you could actually use it for deli slices? Drive a Stingray 2. It's pretty awful. I hope Obsidian sees this and realizes just how bad of a state the light tanks are in right now. Especially compared to every other vehicle in the game. You basically, to illustrate this for you guys, I don't have anything good to say about this vehicle. I don't have anything good to say about light tanks tier 6 plus in general. It's pretty downhill. The Bagel Panzer was the height of the line, and I hope they fix that. I really do. But in the game's current state, and in the 0.13 patch coming up, Stingray is god awful terrible. They buffed the VFM, which was nice, and everything since I reviewed it, but the Stingrays have just gone downhill since I don't mean to be really down on you guys, but it sucks. It's purely a support tank. It's purely a sniping tank. Unlike their video they published yesterday, February 5th, which said otherwise, AFVs are the bane of light tanks. Light tanks are not the bane of AFVs. Everything that shoots you penetrates for the most part. On the Stingray 1, everything that shoots you penetrates you. It doesn't matter what it is. You literally have no armor. Even autocannons at extreme ranges beyond 500 meters with AP rounds will still penetrate. We actually took it out and took an XM800 and could beat down a Stingray with an XM800T. A tier 3 could beat down a tier 6 in one-on-one combat. And not like it was being driven by somebody who was stupid. No, I was driving it, and I had somebody in an XM800T driving around, and I found it incredibly hard to hit him. And all he had to do was just keep machine gunning me, and he was penetrating. And I'm like, well, shit. He was using HEI to make sure he did damage, but the point is, I actually died to tier 3. And we tried it with a tier 4 and a tier 5 first. And we went all the way down to tier 3, not even thinking it would work out, and sure enough, yeah. It's pretty bad. I honestly don't know what they can do for light tanks to really make them shine anymore. Unless they make them more like the VFM. If they made a lot more light tanks more like the VFM, I think they would be very good vehicles, but the VFM is kind of the exception to the rule rather than the rule, and it needs to probably be considered for design purposes as the rule of thumb for a light tank. Anyway, that is my opinion of the Stingray 2, aka the Steve Irwin killer, aka the Skankiest Mark II. Skanky, skanky, skanky. It's so skanky, I can't even drive it properly, apparently. I hope you guys enjoyed the PvP footage. It's the last PvP footage that will actually be at a lower frame rate, because as of today, actually, we were live streaming and I had 60 frames and a crystal clear 1080p picture.
I'll make sure you are well rewarded for this.
So let's go take a look at the final stats of this one, and then we will be wrapping it up. Like I said, I have nothing good to say about this tank. If somebody wants to play it and send me some footage and ask me to re-review it with the new footage, I can try. I can't promise my opinion of it'll change, but I can try. There's no planned buffs for the Stingray or the Stingray Mark II during the during the upcoming patch in a couple weeks. There's no planned buffs. There's no planned adjustments for them. Nothing. They're just lackluster tanks. The M8 is getting smoke grenades. I wish it got its applique armor, but it's getting smoke grenades at least. That makes it feel a little better. But as we can see here, I think I came third. That just sounded dirty. But yeah, I don't expect to do well in this tank. The XM8 with its level 3 applique armor is decent. Decent. With its level 3 applique armor, it's decent. It's not awesome, but it is decent. But then you get into the M8 and you don't even get smoke. And that's supposed to be one of the cornerstones of being in a light tank, is having 3 smoke grenades. You get none. Ouch. Big ouch. Oh, by the way, you're back to Stingray levels of protection. Stingray Mark 1 levels of protection. All steel armor, 90 mil front, 80-65 side, 50-40 rear. The Terminator 2 has 201 pen. The Crab has 224 pen. You will not bounce anything at all. Sorry, guys. Light tank line's been pretty disappointing. Except for the Sheridan was kind of fun. The Scorpion's amazing. The Belgilette Panzer's pretty good. And then you get into these 4 tanks and you're like, what the hell? I don't have a lot of hope for the PLO-1 right now. I don't have a lot of hope for this tank. I hope that I hope I'm disappointed. I hope I'm vastly disappointed when this comes out. But I don't have a lot of hope for it right now. Anyway, that's my review of the Stingray Mark II. I'm not going to do a review of the Stingray until they do something about it. If they do nothing about it, then my opinion stands. Stingray Mark 1 and 2, terrible vehicles. Don't get them. Don't play them. Don't expect to do well in them. You're not. I have tried very hard to do very well in these tanks, and it just doesn't happen. I honestly don't know what to tell you or how to tell you to improve it, but that's what I have to say about it. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button. If you'd like to see more stuff by Fiaura, subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you can do so through Patreon or by clicking on the ad at the end of the video. If you'd like to see the previous Armored Warfare video, it's right there for you guys. And if you guys wouldn't terribly mind, I would appreciate it if you would share this on Facebook and Twitter and get the word out that the Stingray sucks so they'll improve it. Alright guys, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye! I did my job. Yeah, you wonder why this thing's the Panzer 1C. Or the Booty Plunderer, as I like to call it. That's why it's the Booty Plunderer. Because it plunders the booty. Oh, the booty. Not as trollish as the Scorpion, but close enough. Close enough. Alright, let's go have a look at some PvE, shall we? So as promised, guys, we have some PvE. Operation Scorpion.